الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين أما بعد. Recently, Fox News posted an interview with an Iranian pastor who said that there are 1 million Muslims in Iran who became Christian. Then he said up to 5 million. Let's talk. Of course, they mentioned the Middle East. And people have noticed that whenever I say the Middle East, I say the Brits. What is this term? Why do I say the Brits? This term, the Middle East, was first established in 1902 or promoted by the American naval strategist and historian Alfred Thayer Mahan. He used it in an article published, pay attention, published where? In London's National Review. I think London belongs to the Brits. To describe the maritime region between Arabia and India. Arabia is the peninsula, usually doesn't include the Sham area, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine. Anyway, so this is what the phrase was created with a Eurocentric world view. I'm going to amend it. A Brit-centric world view to easily delineate British imperial and trade routes between Europe and Asia. So the Brits who spread this term everywhere to accommodate themselves, because they are here, that little island, and to the east, southeast, you have Sham area and Iraq and Iran, Arabian Gulf, all the way to India. So they said, that's the Far East. This is the Middle East to what? To what? To what? The Brits. Really. Let's talk. Now, here is my take on the issue of Fox News. I can't imagine a normal human being these days believe the legacy media, bought by rich people to promote what rich people want promoted, all of them. That anyone would say, I want to turn to ABC, NBC, CBS, BBB, whatever, to hear the truth, because they know that these people are damn liars. They're liars. They promote a world war where the rich control everything and the poor keep getting poorer. That's the dream that they have. Now, among this group, that I don't think any normal human being would wake up in the morning and say, hey, today is Monday, Friday, Saturday. I want to hear the truth. ABC, NBC, BBC, whatever. Among that group, what's the percentage who would say, hey, today I'm going to listen to the truth? Fox would turn to Fox. Would turn to Fox. The F stands for fake. And you can ask anything after that. You use your own terms. Unbelievable. Anyone would, these people at Fox and the MAGA, the people who control the government and the legacy media, they live on lying, to such an extent that you would think they made a contract with the devil to tell him, hey, we do the lies, take some millions of dollars to do whatever. I don't know what the devil can do with the money. I don't think he needs it, but hey, we're going to do that now. We're going to be doing that now, especially those MAGA people. Jesus, Christian, Jesus. Fox News, you want to listen to the truth? Now, Fox News has a collection of liars that compete with each other. Lying comes naturally. When they start speaking, it's a lie. See, politicians in general, including today's Muslim politicians who are not really religious, they lie with a zigzag. That's what I call a zigzag. Not all, these people just lie. So the end result is a lie. The method is different. A group that has Trump for a leader, the only thing I expect from them to say that is true is their names. Okay, let me not say that. But anyway, so among the liars that Fox hires, Kayleigh McEnany. You remember McEnany, the press secretary for Trump? McEnany. Kayleigh. I think they're using too many letters on her name. Kayleigh. Kayleigh. Whatever. McEnany. This woman lied and lied and lied and lied and then lied. And then the next day she lied, then lied and lied. And when confronted with the lie that they said before, they lied again, either said we didn't say it, that's not what it means. Or, to the extent that I am guessing someday that when people tell Trump, you said this a few days ago, here's the video. Fake news, AI, that's a fake Trump, that's not me. He's even thinner than I am. So if you want the truth, where do you go in the morning when you wake up? Kayleigh McEnany? Fox? Thank you. So this is the description of the video. And I'm not going to talk about exactly what they said. You can find the video there. But I just want to talk about the issue here. Here is the description of the video. Fox, on Fox channel, internet. Horizons International pastor Georges, I think, because in our culture, Georges, Gergis, whatever, Hosni, Georges, Georges, Hosni, I think, Hosni, Joussnea. Too many letters. They don't deserve that. Georges Husniye discusses the growing number of Muslims turning to Christianity in the Middle East on Saturday in America. That's the program. The Middle East experiences a significant spiritual shift as millions of Muslims convert to Christianity, a phenomenon tracked by Open Doors Pastor Gorgis Hosni of Horizons International shares his 50 years of experience. So Open Doors tracks this phenomena. Pastor Georges Hosni of Horizons International shares his 50 years of experience ministering in the region, detailing how many are disillusioned with Islam due to war and receiving visions of Christ, even risking death in Iran. And of course, he said they're disillusioned with Islam. A woman would say, Islam killed my father, my mother, my children. Islam did, Islam that, Islam destroyed us. Let me start by saying, Islam is not a person. I am sure. I'm quite sure. Islam is not a person. Christianity is not a person. Judaism, Hinduism, any other ism is not a person. It's a creed, a religion, Islam. And Iran, for centuries, have been having a majority of Shia, Ja'fari. I call it a religion because it is a religion that has many differences with Islam that popularly are known or is known today as Sunni Muslim, Sunni Islam. So Shia Muslims, Shia Islam, Sunni Muslims, Sunni Islam. These are concepts that are being used to the kuffar, Europeans and Americans and West. They're all Muslims, but they're not all Muslims. So this man, clearly he is Iranian, and Kayleigh McEnany, he's talking about, people turning to Jesus and, becoming Christian. They're fed up with Islam. Maybe you're fed up with some Muslims who claim to be Muslims who are doing things. Why do you have to drag the religion in? Also, here is what's really, very, very important for me to mention here. 1 million people in Iran. First, before that, they mentioned Middle East to make you think that this Gorgis, Judges, whatever, Hosni, and Open Doors, they're tracking all things happening in the Middle East. The Middle East is what? Between Egypt and much of Iran, including Egypt and much of Iran and everything in between. This is the Middle East. To them, there is no Middle East. But to them, this is it. So when you speak about the Middle East, I would think you're talking about Egypt, about Jordan, about Saudi, about Yemen, about what else? Oman, and Iran, and Iraq. But actually, they're talking about Iran because I'm very well acquainted, alhamdulillah, with those preachers who are allowed into Arab countries, Muslim countries, to preach the gospel, to the world. I never heard of this guy. Clearly, his efforts, if he has efforts, are in Iran. He is Iranian. Say Iran. Don't say Middle East as if people in Kuwait are just suddenly going to pray the Jum'ah prayer, Friday prayer, and in the middle say, hey, I'm going to just pray to Jesus now. I don't have to pray with the Muslims. So you see the deception here? Remind you, Fox News, the F stands for what? Kile Nakineni stands for what? And Pastor Gergis, Georgis. I don't know how they say it in the Persian areas. I'm guessing Georgis, maybe. Husni, Housni. See? Stands for lying. 1 million people in Iran became Christian. Actually, he said, I just came in the other room. There are some leaders of Iran who turned to Christ that I am in contact with. I don't know if he's in Iran, even if he's in Iran and the revolutionary guards and the courts they left him turned people to Christianity and he's still alive, then it means that what he's saying about the oppression of Islam is fake, it's a lie. How are you working, doing these things in Iran? Outside Iran, if those leaders came for a conference with him, an unknown man, literally, known only to the Fox and the audience and the MAGA, some of them, I think most of them never heard of this guy. They don't care. He's brown, by the way, a brown Christian. So all the leaders came from Iran, and then when they left Iran, where are you going? We're just going, to Switzerland, and there is or contact through the internet. So that's what he said, that leaders of Iran returned to Christ. For what? 1 million in Iran, and the people there had no idea what's going on in Iran. In Iran, as much as I despise the mullahs of Iran and their brand of religion, I consider it not Islam to begin with, but they have been efficient in tyranny, holding all this huge land, so many Muslims, so many of them Sunnis, so many of them are Shia commoners who don't want this stuff. They held it together through tyranny, literally, death, killing people who demonstrate in the streets. These people couldn't find that Girgis has some kind of effort in Iran, that 1 million Iranians turned into Christianity, Muslims. Really? He said, up to 5 million. 5 million? They don't have families. They don't live in neighborhoods. Nobody knew about it. It's all secret. And they're all in touch with Girgis. Can you understand the enormous lie here? Because these people that he claims, 1 million to 5 million, they have family, neighborhoods they live in for their life. So many of them can't leave the country because of the sanctions anyway, even if they became Christian, because to the Western Christians, you have to be white to be Christian. You're not Christian, you stay there with the mullahs. They tried to deport some Iranians who fled the regime in Iran back to Iran. Yeah. MAGA ice, mice. He said, let's call it nice. I say, let's call it mice. So people didn't know. 5 million? Can you imagine that? 5 million? The population of a very large city throughout Iran, in the villages, in the areas where if they smell anything, that their relative is even considering Christianity, not good things will happen to them. So how did they announce their Christianity? What circumstance? 5 million? Nobody knew about that. The Revolutionary Guard that has devastated Iran economically, religion-wise, death, destruction. They just have missiles. Okay, missiles shoot here, shoot there. They're very efficient in finding opposition in any kind, uh, of any kind. Okay, they can't find 1 million to 5 million. 5 million. Just the idea itself is so hilarious and so lying. Iran has 90 million people, 30 million of them Sunnis, and he's talking here, I think, specifically about Iran being a Shia country, but it isn't. 30% or more are Sunnis. They have all kinds of nationalities. Iran is a very large country. And I would like to add very talented people. And not all the commoners, the Shia, side with their government. Anyway, they have a culture that's 10 times the history of the 250 years coming here, celebration, 4th of July year, that is the age of America, 20 times even. So they have established neighborhoods, people, they have families, contacts with each other. And if somebody tries to promote or actually to become Christian, they will uncover them very quickly. Not good things will happen to them, really. I mean, I can't understand how these people would lie like this. 5 million in Iran becoming Christian, and everybody's going back and forth, not realizing, hey, my cousin, what happened to my cousin? Why doesn't he come to pray anymore with us or to meet with us on Eid day? He's been Christian. What? He's Christian? At least they will report those people to the courts there. Because just as the Jews, okay, let me make it clear. So my throat here, the asthma. Just as the Jews in the state of Israel, Israel, do not allow Christian preachers to preach Christianity to Jews. They catch you, they deport you. That's the law. Check it out. In Iran, you can't go in public and preach Christianity to the people. Yeah? If you don't like it in Iran, then tell the Jews to stop it. Still, the Iranians don't have to listen to you, and the Revolutionary Guard or Garden of Shia, they will not let you. They will not let you go. Yeah, what's wrong with you people? What an enormous lie. Now, let's fabricate a scenario of a person who would be thinking about Islam killed my father, my sister. I can't do it anymore. Islam's too much. Okay. They're thinking about Christianity. What for? What are the incentives? Other than dreaming about immigration that's not coming, and if they come here a few years, another Trump would deport them back to Iran. Money, who's going to give them money there? It will be very clear that somebody got money for something. They will catch him. The country has been devastated by the mullahs. They are people who support them. Devastation. No money, no food for so many people. No clean water for so many people. Okay, so they might be thinking incentive, safety. I am risking my life, as he said, risking death in Iran. That's why it is a lie. See, he said, "Hey, I lied because they're risking death." Yet 5 million became Christian and nobody did anything about it there, according to his logic. Safety, no. Money, no money. Because if they discover him having money in there, where did he get the money from? They will be caught. Immigration, very difficult these days because the whites who are the Christians here, not all of them, by the way, white Christians, maybe a half of them or more, despise these people, the MAGA and all these evangelicals and everything. But these people, they don't want you if you're brown. They don't recognize you. I mind you that a large segment of the Iranian population are actually white. But, you know, whatever. So, um, so the incentives are what? History? Okay. Islam. Okay. The Christians. Hey, what a history of the Prince of Peace, Jesus. Come to Jesus. Somebody was telling me, why do you say Jesus? I actually heard the pastor say it. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, 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 Yeshua, as the Egyptians call him, Arab Christians. Yeshua, the Qibt. Uh, his real name is Isa, none of this. So, Jesus. Think about Jesus, the Lord of Peace, the Prince of Peace. We are here to bring the Prince of Peace to your heart. What about your history, Christians? Don't think about it. As they say in New York, forget about it. Well, I read in history that Europeans were idol worshippers and the Romans were idol worshippers. So they came, controlled the Middle East, and the year 7071 AD, they said to the Jews, out. They expelled the Jews out of Palestine. That's the name of the land, Palestine. And for 18 centuries, the Jews, whoever remained from among the Israelites, who are Jews, Israelites, never had any contact with Palestine, period. Romans. You might say, what, when they became Christian, did they apply the theme of the Prince of Peace, come to Jesus? They started fighting with each other from the beginning, banning other Christian sects, forcing everybody to follow the Trinity that Jesus never spoke of. Not even Paul. Paul believed in two gods, not three. Twinity, not Trinity. And they started fighting each other throughout history. The different sects of the Christians fought each other miserably. They were miserable with each other. Animals, killing each other, death and destruction. This is also what they did to other nations. You see, Christians. They killed the Jews throughout, the favorite customer. They killed each other, also a favorite customer. They occupied much of the world. They stole, they killed, they treated the people as savages, like they are the ones. I am the burden of the white man, the European man, the Christian man, the burden. Yeah, keep it to yourself. But this is what they did to people: death, destruction, fighting each other, infighting. Well, that's history before. Now we're different, and these people, this and that, and out and this. Okay, okay, okay. Since 1900s, you killed the Jews throughout history by the millions. I mean it, by the millions. Look at the cost to the Jews, men, women, and children, mostly civilians, during the pogroms, pogroms in Russia. And they killed the Jews always. They killed the Jews, killed the Jews. And then they would say, Prince of Peace. Now, until the 1900s, they started throwing the Jews who are claiming to be Israelites in Europe to Palestine. Yeah, that's a good land, Judea and Samaria, go there. And they did. They started killing us. And the Holocaust continues by the Jews against the Palestinian Muslims and Christians until today. Why are you holocausting the Palestinians? Because the Europeans holocausted us, the Christians. So 1900s until now, the disaster they created in Palestine, until today, we're suffering from the Brits. World War I, Christian nations of Europe fought each other over what? Colonies? Over what? I could, of course, there were reasons for what happened, World War I, but then the Versailles came. The Versailles, I'm Palestinian. I've learned about it. I'm a Muslim first. I'm Palestinian. I read history. We read about it, what it did to Palestine, to our land, and also what it did to the Arab and Muslim countries, because they promised them, the Arab countries, revolt against the Turks, and we'll make you an independent nation, the Arabs, under King Hussein bin Ali. Okay? Not that one. Sharif Hussein bin Ali. Then they divided the Arab countries among them, Versailles. The Iranians, if they signed there, that's a terrible decision. You see, all the Arabs who were trying to get into the meetings with the Versailles, look it up. They told them, you can't come in while we're dividing your land, you stay here. They divided the land, and they went back, humiliated Versailles. And of course, it was the defeat of Germany and other stuff. Those are Christians who fought each other, killed millions and millions and millions. Forget about the colonies and the people there. They've been killed before, during, and after these wars. Europeans, everywhere they go, death and destruction. Christianity comes with them. Prince of Peace, death and destruction, we're together. We're one and the same. World War II, before it, the Christians of Europe started killing the Jews by the millions. Don't tell me they were not Christians. Hitler said, I am now a Catholic, will always be a Catholic. And he would give classes like he is, a Christian pastor. I am doing the work of the Lord. But he said it in German, by the way, not in this accent. So you killed millions of each other. Up to 80 million people on earth died because of these people in Europe fighting each other. And in both World War I, they promoted America to be at least equal militarily to Britain. That was the deal, Versailles, that America can have up to and equal to what Britain had, Navy, for example. The Second World War, Europe lost its independence to the Soviet Union or to America. You see? So, but millions and millions of death and destruction everywhere you go. Now, somebody is in Iran. Air raid sirens. Who's attacking them? Islam? No, the Jews. The weapons and the money from America and the West. Christians, white Christians, some of the white Christians, many white Christians, are turning against this. But anyway, who was bombing Iran and who did all these sanctions that killed the economy of Iran, really, along with what the mullahs did? The Christians, America and the West, the same Christians who before did all that stuff against each other. They're bombing everywhere in Iran, destroying everything. 15,000 targets they destroyed. Israel had its own target list that they did not share with Trump because he would have told everybody about it. And they had their own thing to do there. But it is American weapons and Western weapons, Western support, Western money. So they are bombing everywhere. And I have Gorgos Hosseini saying to me, hey, peace, Christians, the Lord of peace, the peace of Lord, whatever. And he's telling the story to Fox, that has been the biggest cheerleader against Islam and Muslims and for violence. They're destroying your country. Hey, I would like to become Christian. If that person said, I would like to become whatever, what else is there? A good Muslim, because, if we're good Muslims and coming together, these people wouldn't do what they have done. You blockaded the country, rained, all kinds of bombs and missiles and destroyed and still threatening them. And of all the religions in the world, they would say, I would like to be a Christian. Really? 5 million of them? According to you, there would be 5 million dead because they became Christian. Or they're doing it in secret? Why? They've been hit by the Jews, American weapons, and French weapons, and British, and other Western, and some they made in Israel with the secrets they stole from the West, or the West gave it to them, whatever. They've been bombed. I say, which religion I should be? That plane that just killed a couple of hundred schoolgirls. May Allah give them mercy, because they're young. They are young Muslim girls. I would like that religion, because that is a religion of peace. Spiritual shift I would like to make is that religion. Shut up. Gorgos Hosni, you're a liar. And I think, how can you do all this effort in Iran with nobody noticing? And millions, nobody noticing, period, nothing. But you are a liar. And if you look at his face, don't look at his face, but if you want to watch that video, Kaylee McEnany, if you want to watch it, look at his face. He's lying. So that's rubbish, of course. You know what's killing these people, really? All what they did against Islam and Muslims from the first. You see, the first day, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the blessings, honor, and mercy of Allah on him, declared Islam in public to his own people. In Mecca, his own uncle, Abu Lahab, said, woe to you. Is this why you gathered us here? To tell us there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, which is the religion of Jesus, Isa, Moses, Musa, Abraham, Ibrahim, Noah, Nuh, Adam, and all the prophets in between. And they kept fighting Islam. The Jews first in Medina and the rest of Arabia. The polytheists They all came together trying to destroy Islam. And the Christians attacked Islam and Muslims. See the difference here? Islam, the religion, didn't like it, so they attacked Muslims in Asham area, and Islam became a world power because of the efforts of those early Muslims who conquered the land, and the people, when they saw them, they said, I want to be a Muslim. Each one of them. So many of them, so many. Most of them became Muslim, and in Islam we do not propagate forcing people to become Muslim. My name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub. Put my name next to Islam Life, you will find this YouTube channel, Facebook page, our website, islamlife.com. Islamlife.com. Allah blessed me and my family to produce more than 70 books in English, authoring, translating, and tens of others we did for other organizations, editing. Thousands of articles, hundreds of trips all over America and in other countries, calling to Islam, explaining Islam, and defending Islam. So this is my job. And I say that these people are liars. Before I let you go to the website, islamlife.com. You'll find a number of our books there, like these ones here next to me. You'll find a number of our books there, including Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad, the third edition, 400 pages of comparison between Judaism, the Jews, Christianity, the Christians, and Islam and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah practices, and what the Jews and Christians did against their opponents throughout history. It's very important, especially with regards to warfare. Read it. islamlife@gmail.com is my email. If you can't afford it or other books, email me. I'll send you a copy PDF for free. Let me end with this. It's very important. Why do Christians lie? You know, they just lie. Unbelievable. Like, I can't understand how somebody would just, they start knowing that what they're going to say is a lie. They say it with enthusiasm, enthusiastic, and they won't let you say, well, this is a lie. Fake news. Why do they lie? During my debates with Christians, fanatical Christians, not all Christians are the same, that's for sure. A large segment of them do not want this violence in the Middle East. They don't want to support Israel anymore. A large segment of them. But when I speak about the hostile ones. So I had debates with them. I have many debates. I have books about, comparing Islam to Christianity. And somebody was like debating with me, and I said, I know why you're lying, because it's in your book. It's in your book. This is one of the books that we have online. We can't afford printing it. If you would like to support us, go to islamlife.com and support our mission. We don't receive money from any government, including Muslim governments or any organization, just our own means and gifts from brothers and sisters. May Allah reward them all. Help us continue this mission. So one of our books, How Prophet Muhammad Legislated in Response to a man, David Wood. You will find the video on the internet that's responding to him. I mentioned this part. David Wood is among the many Christian evangelicals whom I have debated about Islam and the Old Testament and the New Testament and their behavior throughout their history, the Jews and Christians. So some of them said to me, it's not like your religion, we are required to say the truth. I said, our religion? If you're debating a religion, isn't it beneficial for you to actually read the book of that religion you're attacking? Because Allah said in the Quran, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who believe, ittaqullah, fear Allah, وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ, and be among those who say the truth. It's a commandment and a threat to Muslims. Fear Allah and always say the truth. Be among those who always say the truth. But it's in your religion. You see, David Wood, for example, and many others, I debated many others. David Wood, when he spoke some things about Islam, I said, well, it's in the Old Testament. Look up the Old Testament says, you know what he said? I'm not as familiar with the Old Testament as I am with the New Testament. Nice faith, right? You're not familiar with the half of your book? To return with what we spoke about a few minutes ago, they tried to fight Islam and Muslims throughout history. And Islam today is the largest religion on earth, the fastest growing religion on earth. And they can not do anything about it. They're telling themselves, we've been working hard and hard and we're losing. We're losing. That's why they resort to lying, maybe trying to deviate some people who might be thinking about Islam by telling them lies, because they are instructed in their books. Yeah, I'm saying it. Jalal Abualrub, IslamLife.com. They are instructed in their own books, like what I'm going to say now. They tried, that's why it's killing. What's killing them? The question I asked a few minutes ago. What's killing them? We did all this throughout the century. We're killing them, destroying. As for Jews and Christians, they are stuck with this segment of their book, because the Jews believe in the Old Testament. It's not the Torah, by the way. The Christians believe in the Old Testament and the New Testament, which is not Al-Injil, by the way. Here. So this is page 53, Jalal Abualrub, how Prophet Muhammad legislated. The lying spirit of 1 Kings 22. That they lie and deceive is understandable in the light of what their holy book teaches them. And here is the quote from 1 Kings 22. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. That's why the Jews don't find any problem in ascribing the honorable prophet of Allah, Moses, Musa alayhi salam, ascribing to him murder on a massive scale. That's not true. But they lie. Did Moses say, kill every man, woman, child, suckling infant, and whatever? We spoke about that. It's in the Old Testament. But keep the virgin girls to yourselves. Kill every man, woman, child, suckling, infant, oxen, sheep, and donkey. They have a problem against donkeys. They keep ordering the faithful to kill donkeys. Moses would say that. Well, that's a lie. Jesus never spoke about the original sin, that he's coming down here to be crucified for the sins of Christians, and that he is God, 1 and 3, 3 and 1, 1/3. Never spoke about these things. It's them. They lie. They manufacture the religion, and they go on a lying system called Fox News, speaking with a liar, Kayleigh McEnany, where Georges Hosni, I think it's Hosni, again, would say 5 million in Iran became Christians. Well, go read 1 Kings 22 and cry because you don't have what we have in the Quran. Ya أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, اتقوا الله, fear Allah, وكونوا مع الصادقين, and be among those who say the truth. All thanks and praises are due to Allah. And please support us, islamlife.com, islamlife.com. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.